We're talking about skilling and entrepreneurship. I would like to give a slightly different perspective, though I'm very convinced with the views that have been expressed. But every technological innovation in society has had its positive and negative side effects. And be it the power loom, be it the locomotive, be it the automobile, be it the computer, you'll be surprised to know that, all of you who do bowling, the 9 pins bowling. The 9 pins used to be replaced by actual people till we had technology to, automatically put new 9 pins out there. So with AI, it's only that companies recognize, individuals recognize that the pace of change, the pace of uncertainty is very, very fast, much faster than we have ever, experienced before. Therefore, you need to adapt definitely. And there's a very important statement made by Mr. Jack Ma, who's the CEO of Alibaba. He said that the things we teach our kids are the things from the past 200 years. It is knowledge based, and we cannot teach our kids to compete with machines because machines will always be smarter. We have to teach something unique so that machines can never catch up with us. So I'm just mentioning some broad trends in the interest of time because just to understand what kind of things you can expect, with the AI. The first is expected decline in any kind of job which can be performed by an algorithm, which means that anything which you can convert it to a computer algorithm, you should be careful and you should stay a bit insecure because it could be replaced. There will be a rise in demand for high-tech oriented jobs, definitely. Machine learning, engineers, data scientists, business intelligence developers, research scientists, etc. Earlier, a bit of my generation and the generation before me, the trend was you learn in college and then it's a lifetime of a good career. Nowadays, there's a need for lifelong learning. You cannot have, a one go, you did your degree, you did your master's, and then you're, secure for life. You need to keep learning. There is a need for, the top priority areas where skilling is required as per a report by World Economic Forum. Need for, AI and big data, analytical thinking. You need to have people with resilience, flexibility, agility. That's in tune with the times we live in. You need to have creative thinking and leadership, so important in today's time. Because you cannot expect business as usual. Business is changing very rapidly. New companies, new models keep coming. You cannot stay static. There could be also, on the other hand, on one hand we have technical professions. On the other, there would be rise in professions which are more human. Something like creativity, something like sports, something like religion and spirituality. Why not spirituality? Because, if machines are doing everything, let's evolve, right? And caregiving, caregiving professions which again machines can't do. Of course, environment and social and corporate governance, ESG, is going to be a big area of increase in the coming years. And finally, the rise of apps like ChatGPT tells us that it's not going to be AI replacing human, it's going to be human plus AI replacing human. So do not view AI as a threat, use it as a tool to enhance your capabilities and get better at your roles, and keep understanding or analyzing how AI is changing the industry or profession you are in. That will be very useful in the coming years. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You rightly said that spirituality is also very important, and we have one speaker from that India Astro. He will be talking about that. And Mr. L.P. Pandey, he has background in agriculture. He is called as the seedsman of India. Both will be talking about that briefly before our ambassador throws light about the possibility, opportunity in Mongolia and beyond those countries. But before that, we have a brief break, and I would be inviting Ms. Neha to come and announce. Thanks.
It's been a privilege today to host this event for all of you, and the awardees seem to keep flowing in, and we're still not through that process. The two awards which I still like to call, and I would like the winners to make their way to the stage. The first award is for the most promising compliance service provider to watch globally out for. Goes to Connect Ventures Incorporate. Can you please have the chairman, Dr. Anil Gupta, on stage to collect his honors. And then the award for the Outstanding Legal Services Provider of the Year is backed by Pass and Associates LLP, Advocates and Solicitors. Can you please have Mr. Prashant Bhargava, Founding and Managing Partner. Congratulations to both of you. Along with that, congratulations to all the winners of today. That was a long list and definitely a satisfying one, a rewarding one. And I'm pretty sure all of the winners deserved this award. All the best. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And since you talked about the spirituality, that is also very important aspect. And we have a person especially who belongs to India as to the CEO. So nowadays India is a country which cannot leave its culture, belief, strong belief, यहाँ तक कि इसरो और नासा में भी अब रॉकेट छोड़ने से पहले पूजा करते हैं. So the greatest scientists also believe that there is a supernatural power somewhere. Otherwise, who will create this whole world? So the astrology and spirituality and related things are also cannot be ignored, cannot be overlooked. They are the important parts of our life, and he is master of that. We will be talking about his technological aspects also. So I'll request him to kindly add this.
Thanks. So first of all, I am not an astrologer. I am actually an engineer cum entrepreneur. So overall, I think basically let me first like what we are building. We are building InstaStore, where you will find India's top skilled astrologer in our platform. We focus on the quality and the best skilled astrologer in our platform. That's what we are. We are available on iOS and Android both platform and also on web. You can talk whenever you want. Story is it's very interesting story how I started. Actually, after doing BTech from IIT Kanpur, I started my first company, DYDX Software. It's been 18 years now when I started my first company, and during that time, it was a big project. We started because of that project, and that project kind of shut down, and we were kind of in the phase where we felt like it is over, all over. We were not having money to give salary to our employees. That was kind of scary. And that's where I met a gentleman at the place who was an astrologer, and he basically predicted a lot of good things about me and about my company. And that's where place where I somehow, when we were losing hope, I somehow thought that I should not give up, and I did not give up. And I, along with my partner, we fight, and we somehow were able to. They brought that company to a very large scale and successfully sold that to a listed company. After that, I always take some opinion from astrologer time to time. But there was always a problem about getting a genuine astrologer. So I always wanted to create that kind of platform. And during the COVID era, when COVID has given a lot of casualty, a lot of bad things to all of us, and at the same time, because of that, work from home happened. And that brought a lot of, because of work on a lot of mental issues came. And there are a lot of uncertainty that time. And I thought this is the right time when through the ancient science of India, which is more than 5,000 years old science, we can bring some certainty and some better thing to customer. And that's why we build Incesto, started building Incesto. Right now we already serve more than 50 lakh customers on the platform. And on regard of reskilling, upskilling, I think like that is also very important part. I think you rightly said it is not the AI which will, it is the human who is using AI will win. That is the most important part. Before my second company Edureka was skilling the tech software engineers, and we did more than 5 lakhs software engineers skilled in our platform. And in the current instance though, we are making sure we are giving the artificial intelligence power to astrologer, so that they are able to get those information which take like for example hours time in a few minutes, and able to answer and guide us. So I think due to the technology we are able to bring that 5,000 years old science back to the world, and with the most genuine prediction and most genuine guidance. So that's what we're building. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And now I would be requesting Dr. L.K. Pandey, who is the chairman, Indian Industry Association, Delhi chapter, and also the national vice president, to throw some light about, from the agriculture perspective, what skilling is required, what are the opportunities in the emerging, new scenarios. Yeah, you can use that.
Thank you for this opportunity. And in fact, I wear a number of hats. So one is basically I am a seed man. I work for high quality seed to provide to farmers so that we can increase the productivity. Secondly, as an entrepreneur, I understand the pains of startups and scaling up. So I am also working as a mentor to a dozen of companies, startups, and I am trying to support them and how they can scale up. And third one is skill development. So last month first, I am a resource person in Agriculture Skill Council of India, and the basic approach is that everyone should be known in India, should be known from the job, from the skill he can do, any kind of job. Even if we talk about illiterate workforce, even a gardener, a mali, I mean he should be properly certified for particular job role. Maybe seed processor, maybe tissue culture operator. Earlier we were not talking about these workforce. So I am working on to that. We are developing various courses suitable so that we can train them, we can skill them, and we can make them available skill force. One thing. Secondly, this COVID time had a lot of learnings for all of us. I had 3-4 learnings. One learning was that when we talk about startup, I found that startup can scale up much faster pace than we were expecting. Just like you have seen how the disease came and how vaccine was developed and how vaccine was commercialized. So I think that we have to break the barrier that startup takes a lot of time to scale up. So that barrier can be broken. And then about this seed. We are working not only for global food security and national food security, but COVID has taught us that nutritional food security is more important, much more important. So we are trying to impregnate both food security as well as national security. So it's a more on technical side, but it comprises of even startup and passion to work, enterprising, and then ultimately making money for yourself and doing a good job for the community. And one very important lesson which I learned, you cannot develop, you cannot grow, or you cannot prosper in isolation. It is the community which you have to take care. No business can be can survive if it is not sustainable. If it is not taking care of our environment, society, and if it is not following the rules of governance. So ESG is very important. So I am collectively, working on ESG, the SDG goals, and if we talk about SDG goal, so I think that is the role of everyone, every one of us in the room. And if we follow SDG, I think the whole world will be free from all kind of, materialistic problems. So, these, everything, involved when I am practicing my business or mentoring something. And then coming back to artificial intelligence, I am very hopeful that, one day my plants, my, seeds who cannot speak, if AI can find their language and can translate, what they are expecting, what they want, and that we can provide to them, that will be the day, ultimate day of our success. So thank you so much. Thank you for this time.
Thank you very much, Dr. L.P. Pandey. And now it's almost end of the day, end of this session. I'm inviting His Excellency Dr. Ganbol Dabajo, and I'm also requesting you, if you have any question after his deliberations, so be prepared for that. We'll be taking 3-4 maximum questions. So be prepared, and after listening to him, after your questions, this session will be over. And I also want to tell you that all our deliberations are available on all our social media platforms. So millions of people are watching you, millions of people are watching this program live on YouTube, Facebook, and several other channels which we have, So now I would like to request His Excellency Mr. Ganbol Dabajo to come and address. Before that, let me give a brief profile. An ambassador does not require any introduction because he is given the status in any country. It's a general protocol that he enjoys the status of a cabinet minister wherever when he goes, whether it's a big country, small country, or India or any other country. That's a global protocol. He is born in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia in 1973, graduated from the National University of Mongolia, BA in Foreign Service, possessed Master's degree in Linguistics, Science and Technology University of Mongolia, and Diplomacy from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Russian Federation. Attended various courses specializing in international affairs and regional security exchange program in political science from Brigham Young University, Hawaii, USA, Vienna Diplomatic Academy, European and International Affairs, Austrian Studies in German, Austria, Shanghai Cooperation, Organization of Economic and Investment Portfolio, Beijing, People's Republic of China, NATO School, Moscow State University, Russian Federation, MFA, and so many other institutions. He has also, taken from Geneva Center for Security Policy, Germany, Switzerland, and Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies, Hawaii, USA, among others. He has worked in various positions in different departments of the Foreign Ministry of Mongolia, and he has worked as the permanent mission of Mongolia to the UN, New York, USA, Embassy of Mongolia in Sofia, Bulgaria. So he has a global experience, concurrently accredited to the Republic of Albania, Cyprus, Republic of Hellenistic and North Macedonia, and Romania. Embassy of Mongolia in Ottawa, Canada, and concurrently accredited to the Federal Republic of Brazil. He is SOM leader Mongolia at the FELAC, and since December 13, 2021, he is appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Mongolia to the Republic of India. And also he is Ambassador of Mongolia to Bhutan, Maldives, and Sri Lanka simultaneously with India. He has got several awards, especially Silver Cross of Merit of the Republic of Poland. He speaks Russian, English, and German. So a big round of applause for Ambassador Ganbol Dabajo. kindly come and address our gathering.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I'd like to express my appreciation for inviting me to this auspicious event, and of course, the congratulations goes to all awardees. Let me talk briefly, because I know we're quite exhausted for the whole day, so I'll be very brief, about business opportunities for Indian business people in Mongolia. Before that, I would like to speak about history, because Mongolia and India have a long history. Probably most of you, some of you heard that many Mongolians and scholars and monks used to come to study at the Nalanda University around 2000 years ago. And many Indian scholars and monks used to come to Mongolia. And for many Mongolians, India is the land of Lord Buddha. So you can assume that Mongolians have a huge respect for India and our Indian friends. As of today, we call our Indian friends our spiritual neighbors, and in contemporary history, we established diplomatic relations in 1955, and as of today, we enjoy developing a strategic partnership between our two countries. And as for Mongolians, India is the most important third neighbor in this region. Who we are as of today? Mongolia is a country by population is around 3.4 million, which is very few compared to our Indian friends. But by territory, we 4 times of France, or a little bit bigger than half of India. As of today, we have limited economic cooperation between our two countries. We built in the oil refinery, and we have some other projects going on in Mongolia. As of Mongolia, we are rich in minerals. You can name the whole spectrum of the minerals, starting with gold, copper, coking coal, rare earth elements, and as we call critical elements as of today. And I believe for Indian business people, the cooperation in mining can be of interest, because as you all know, India is now producing its own semiconductors. So the raw material for that rare earth element, we have huge deposits of them in Mongolia. Other aspect of the cooperation can be agriculture, because as I told you, the Mongolia has a huge country and population is small, so it gives us huge the open untapped territory to cultivate different various products. So, I'm talking in the mean that now, as of today, world population reached more than 8 billion, and because of the crisis in Russia and Ukraine, the world is will start soon and starting facing the food crisis. So we can do the cultivation and cooperation with the Indian agriculture sector in Mongolia. We can produce wheat crop, you name it, whatever need to feed the world, and it can be very mutual beneficial business. At the same time, we have in Mongolia we have around 75 million livestock. We call livestock the 5 main animals, which is horse, camel, cow, sheep, and goats. So based on that interest of Indian business people, railways, highways, water canals, you name it. As a country that has a long history, and a country who belongs to nomads, the nature we have preserved, managed to preserve to the untapped pristine nature. So I believe that tourism can be a lot of interest for Indian tourists, because we can offer a lot of beautiful destinations for Indian people. At the same time, I believe the cinema photography can be also a good part of our cooperation, because the Mongolian government has incentive that reimbursing up to 50% of all the expenses that shooting in Mongolia, movie, television serials, whatever, documentary, you name it, up to 50% of all the expenses that is produced in Mongolia can be reimbursed by the government of Mongolia. And of course, we're looking for the direct flight between our two countries, because with the direct flight we will have a much more better opportunity to bring our people closer. We have a meeting with Air India and Indo-Global. We're still working on that. So in general, what I would say that when you think about Mongolia and doing business in Mongolia, I would like to ask you not to limit within border of Mongolia. On the north we have the whole Siberia, which is the market for the 37 million of people. Also in the south we have the Inner Mongolia, which is north of China, which is also a population of 25 million. So in total we have to think about a market of 60-80 million people. So thinking of a broader picture, I believe that these people will have a better understanding as a professionals. Also, another important aspect of doing business in Mongolia, that the products that is made and produced in Mongolia can be exported to the European market without tax, up to 7,500 products that is listed in the agreement can be exported to the European market without tax. So, back to the history of between our two countries, I would like to bring one example of how close we are. In the eastern corner of Mongolia we have a lake called Ganga. The story says that many thousand years then the Mongols used to come to India. On their way back they get to get water from the Ganga river and they pour it in the valley, and that's how this lake, beautiful lake is created. And every year, approximately right now time, in the fall, thousands, millions of birds gather at that lake and they fly to India, so which gives us how close we are. And I think when many thousand years when we didn't have the means of transportation, no airplane, no train, no cars. Our ancestors used to manage to overcome the Himalayas, to come to India, come to Mongolia. So if they managed to do that, for today for us there is no problem. This is not a big problem. So I would like to end my statement saying that with Mongolia we have one saying that it's better to see once than hear it 1,000 times. So I would like to invite you all to come to Mongolia, see it yourself. As a professionals, as a business people, you will see the better opportunity than civil servants. So welcome to Mongolia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency, for throwing light about the possibilities in Mongolia. Do we have any questions? Anybody? So kindly. Yeah. Please introduce yourself and kindly be directly to the question.
All right. Thank you for the lovely quick synopsis that you've given, Your Excellency. Right. So thank you for the quick synopsis that you've given of Mongolia. You mentioned a lot of trade opportunities and a lot from a business and commerce perspective. So I personally deal in the education sector and will be happy to facilitate any sort of student exchanges between colleges and schools from our network in India and Mongolia if there's anything that could be done. So is there any sort of potential that you see in this, and if so, how would you be able to take it forward?
Thank you. Yes, of course. When I spoke about the history, our ancestors used to come to study in our university. It shows that the educational cooperation can be a very good demand, because we receiving a certain amount of Mongol students in India. I'm trying to send a couple of young Indians, actually, I always sent two of them to study in Mongolia. So I believe that institution, quality of Indian institution is very needed in Mongolia. I'd like to welcome to Indian institution, institution organizations to come to Mongolia, because recently only these May we adopted the law that officially states English as the second official language of Mongolia. It took us more than 30 years to abolish the former communist regime. So now I see that based on this law and the new law of PPP, I believe that Indian education institution has a more chance to go to Mongolia to educate, because the English as a native English official language of India will be very important and necessary for Mongolian youth. It will be a big opportunity for you.
There is one question from my side. The Indian psyche has historical, whether it's facts or not a fact, you will be clarifying better that Genghis Khan once came and he attacked India, and that is the thing which every Indian knows about when it comes about Mongolia. That day when we were able to meet you at your house here, and you said several things about his origin. What is that? How Mongolia sees India, and what is your perspective about Genghis Khan coming here? And nobody can change the history, that's a fact. But how Mongolia sees its relations with India?
We give very big importance to India as our third neighbor and spiritual neighbor. You rightly say that there is some misconception in India about Mongolia. Mongols never invaded India directly. We never invaded because historically the Mongols have huge respect for Indian people, Indian culture. But during a certain period of time when the Mongols came from the west, in the Middle East, it wasn't really the direct Mongolian, let's say, invasion. It was part of alliance, let's say, that the Mongols sent some troops probably to help the Mughals, or let's say the Middle East king at that time, to go to war with India. But in general speaking, Mongols, as I said in my short remarks, that we see the Indians in India as a land of Lord Buddha. Because of that, we have very huge respect for you, and I believe that this respect and our long history can be and should be bring to our new generation, our youngsters. That's why I fully support the idea about the educational exchange, because if we prepare our next generation to understand each other better, based on the understanding, we can bring the trust. And only under trust is a business, that on the trust you can do business. Otherwise, if you don't trust no person, if you don't know him, if you don't understand the person, how you can do business? So we have to work on the next generation, young people, to prepare them, give them our historical background, heritage, and based on that, we can come to the future together.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for clarifying that Mongolia never invaded India, and this should be known to the Indian masses, so that the historical misconception will go away. And those days, like India, princely states were there in India, and kingships were there everywhere in the world, different parts of the world, and so this is very important. So, is there any last question? Any question from anybody? If not, we are winding up, and I am thankful, and I am thanking each and every speaker from the morning till this time who came, and they deliberated on various aspects. In fact, our guests delve into crucial topics such as driving economic growth in the post-COVID scenario, and also in the light of G20 summit. They talked about various initiatives like Invest India, Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and they also shine a spotlight on the vital role of the micro, small and medium enterprises. Our senior guests were from these ministries were there. They talked about role of MSMEs in the services sector, and they examined the fine balance between innovation, customer centricity and data protection in the realm of fintech. We were lucky to get senior directors from the Ministry of Information Technology and IT. So furthermore, they also talked about various ways of fintech, how the fintech companies are bridging the gap, and there were some genuine questions about the fintech companies from the consumer points of view. So we talked about the realms of global market navigation and international expansion strategies, and how to scale up in the new green technology also. So our guests talked about various subjects from morning till this time, and I am thankful to each one of them. I do not want to take much of time in taking out their names again. So thank you very much to each one of you for participating in this program, who have come again, who have attended in the previous program and they have attended again. I'm thankful to them especially, and for those who have participated in this program today, and all our experts, guests, visionaries and luminaries for taking out their special time and coming to grace their occasion with this. And I'm thanking for all support partners, this Hotel Lalit staff and the media people who came to cover this, our technical staff who supported this, our event management company who created all these things. So I thank everybody, and my thanks goes to the marketing team of the Business Connect also, who brought each and every delegates like you, shining delegates, to this program, and that made this conclave very successful and grand successful. So a big round of applause, and we are closing this ceremony. Thank you very much to all. It's open for any kind of photography if you want, if somebody wants to take photograph on this stage.